Hello and welcome to another night of Swamp Bats baseball exclusively here on TeamLine.com. I'm Mark Schwartz, joined alongside me today, Mike Borghese here to pregame tonight's game between the Keene Swamp Bats and the new Bedford Bay Sox. But before we get started on tonight's game, let's take a look back at last night's game, Mike. The first game of the 2012 season for the Swamp Bats, and what a game it was. Trailing 4-0 throughout most of the game, then wound up scoring 5 unanswered runs and wound up winning in the bottom of the ninth.
Ended up scoring 3 runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. A Brett Barrett single was the winner right there. Brett Barrett, a Keene native.
Yeah, 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth, all with 2 outs. So it shows some nice resolve for this Swamp Bats team as they were trailing for most of the game. They had 1 run in the bottom of the 5th. On Dylan Dela Cruz was scoring on a Cameron O'Brien ground out. Then you had JP Sportman with the first home run of the season for the Swamp Bats, and then 3 unanswered in the bottom of the ninth to win the game. It was a nice job by the Swamp Bats.
Nice job by the Swamp Bats. Cameron O'Brien was down to his final strike. Was able to put the count to 3-2 and was able to take a walk, which loaded the bases. And all Brett Barrett had to do was poke it right into right field, and 2 runs would score, and the Swamp Bats would win 5-4.
Joe Pistorius got the start for the Swamp Bats last night, went 4 innings, giving up 4 runs, only 1 of them earned, and it seemed after a little bit of a tough start for Pistorius, he settled down in the middle innings and wound up walking away from the game with a pretty respectable line.
He pitched really well. It's just 2 errors, guys that are playing out of position. He pitched pretty well, was able to shake that off. Actually only allowed 4 runs in the first 2 innings, and then settled down the last couple innings that he pitched and pitched scoreless baseball.
And then after that, Andrew Grant, the reliever from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, came into the game, pitched 4 scoreless innings of relief, and really kept the Swamp Bats in the game for the middle innings and allowed them to mount that comeback later in the game.
Not enough can be said about Andrew Grant. You hear Barrett is going to get a lot of credit for that walk-off hit, but the reason they were in that game was because of Grant and his scoreless 4 innings, and that actually allowed the Swamp Bats to get a little bit of momentum, and they were able to score those 3 runs in the ninth.
And then Horseman finished off the scoreless relief outing for the Swamp Bats. He pitched 1 inning of scoreless relief in the ninth and wound up walking away from the game with the win. Now we're looking at today's game against the new Bedford Bay Sox, and the Bay Sox have yet to actually play a game so far this year. They were rained out yesterday, so their first game of the NACBL season actually starts today. Any nerves for the Bay Sox looking at this one?
You always have the first game of the season. Every team has those pregame jitters. Those usually last probably the first inning, as we saw last night with a couple of those errors. But it shouldn't be too much. These are college baseball players. They've played baseball games before, played in a lot bigger games than tonight, this regular season game. But it's always fun to get on the diamond and play this great game.
Starting on the mound tonight for the Swamp Bats, Luke Crumley, the starting pitcher from the University of Georgia, and on the mound tonight for the new Bedford Bay Sox, Frank Valacha from the University of New Haven, the Dartmouth, Massachusetts native. So we got a good one in store for us here today on TeamLine.com. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with your first pitch after this.